Secret number 6. You know, the internet is a fascinating area. And it's kind of like a freight train of ideas and new things that are going on. And things that worked yesterday that don't work as well today. And it's all these things that are going on. It has evolved. I've been involved in marketing for over 30 years. Most of that in the traditional marketplace. We haven't seen as many big changes in that arena over the years as we're seeing in the network marketing arena. But there are, at the same time, certain principles that really work. There's human dynamics that don't change an awful lot. For example, the more times that you are exposed to a particular message, the more likely you are to ultimately get the message. It's said that it takes about 7 times of seeing a particular advertising message before you can really lock onto it and get the message and maybe be inspired to want to pursue it or look at it a little closer. So it's that repetitive thing that happens. Well, in the internet, you have the same dynamics that apply anywhere else, in that there's so many exposures that it takes for somebody to really get the message. There's ways to do that. There are tools now the internet employs to get that job done. I think autoresponders is probably one of the best areas to point out. Here you have the system that once a person logs into a certain point, now you can automatically send them messages because they've shown an interest, they've inquired, it's not spam, and you can give them messages. Now the difference between messages that people are going to read and want to keep and messages that they're just going to want to hit delete is the value of those messages. You want to make sure that you're giving good content, that you're respectful in how you do it, that you're not taking a lot of people's time and that kind of thing. So there's the autoresponder idea, get as much exposure and get routinely in front of your audience, and then add to that that there is a respectful way to approach that and to be efficient with it so that people, they'll look at it, they'll want to look at it, and they won't just automatically delete it. So there's a culture around that that is perhaps a little bit unique to any other form of advertising. But using these tools, identifying the tools and how to use them and their impact is really important. If you're going to market online, then you need to look at the various forms of marketing online and the tools that are available for you to do that. If, for example, you decide you're going to use an article marketing approach, well, there's a whole school of thought in how you write articles and how you present them and how you use those to create your contacts. Well, you know, that's all of good value and you become good at it, but it's also a very slow process, and particularly if you're submitting your articles one at a time and how many different sources that you put those articles in. It can be very labor intensive and take a long time. Well, there's also programs now, software, where identifying the tools that are available to you in your trade, where you can much more efficiently submit an article to a number of different services and have a much broader effect and take less time doing it. So there's things that you can do to use a tool, identify what the tool is, and use it efficiently and use it in such a way that you don't spend an awful lot of time doing it, and that ultimately you're using something that you can pass on to other people that allows them to work efficiently. So whether it's article marketing, marketing through e-zine advertising, pay-per-click, forums and blogs, there's just lots of tools out there. But there's also that process of learning how to use the tools. So my recommendation is this: that once you identify a tool that really works for you, that you like, focus on it, learn it, engage it, get good at using that tool before you expand and start using a lot of other tools. There's lots of tools to pick from. There's things that you will identify with and do well at. I like writing articles, so I include that in what I do. But some people don't like articles. They don't want to mess with that. They don't have the time for it, or whatever. And that's all good. But identify those tools that are going to work for you, and then how to work those with those tools, and what's the culture around those tools so they'll be appropriate. If you're working in blogs, what's the culture of working with blogs? What is okay, what isn't? At what point do you engage in any kind of selling where you're appropriate in the relationships that you're establishing through that medium? So that makes any sense. One of the secrets is use the tools, use them wisely, and look beyond the surface to see what is the culture of that tool so that you can use it in a way that is effective and you don't offend anybody. And then keep in mind that what you want to do at the end of the day is, with whatever tools you're using, is you want to be efficient in your time, so as that's replicated and other people in your downline are using those tools, that they have the same opportunity, certainly to make decisions, but to work with them in an efficient manner so that they can more effectively build the network. If, for example, your entire network is built through the concept of article marketing, it's going to take a lot longer for you to build your network because it took you longer to become efficient and start getting a stream of leads and things that you need to do to build your business. Well, it's going to replicate down through your organization. So ultimately you do need to look for what's the most efficient ways that I can do this, how is it going to look when it goes into my network and be duplicatable as it continues to grow, so that I can not only make a good powerful income stream, be a top earner, but I want to do that in a reasonable period of time. Yes, it's going to take some time, but it doesn't have to take a lifetime. So that's number 6. Let's go on and take a look at secret number 7.